Hey folks, welcome. Backdoor from Bronson today is proud to be bringing one of our producer partners forward again, just like we did last week from Guatemala with Pablo. Now today we're going to be bringing Daniela Rodriguez from Bolivia online with Bob to talk a little bit about how things are going in Bolivia right now, especially with this lovely coffee that we're going to be releasing next week. I think I have them both on the in the waiting room over here, so I'm going to ask them to jump into the line here with us, and we'll start the conversation because I know everybody's been waiting to say hi to them today. Hey, folks, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, Josh, I'm here.
Oh, awesome, great. It's good to see you. And
As always, Josh, it's great to see you here on the counter of my kitchen.
yeah, and Daniela, can you hear us too?
Yes, yes. Hi, 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 everybody.
Hey, it's good to see you. I'm trying to capture you on the main screen there. Okay, good. Well, Bob, how are things going in your kitchen?
Things are going great. Another week, another week of homeschooling and working from the home lab here on the countertop. But yeah, just wanted to thank Daniela for joining us today. As customers, there was a question, I believe it was a couple weeks ago, about new coffees coming up, and the one that I said was our Bolivia Buena Vista certified organic coffee that's going to be coming back online starting Monday, first roast day. So first available day for people to order it will be tomorrow, Thursday. So I thought it'd be great to have Daniela here talk about, generally speaking, about Bolivia. The name of the company is called Agri Cafe. Their mill is called Buena Vista, hence the name of the coffee. And I wanted to give Daniela a chance, to introduce her to all our customers and talk a little bit about their business model and our relationship with them at Backdoor from Bronson. So, Daniela, you want to chime in and maybe just give us a general overview of the Agri Cafe business in Bolivia?
Yeah, thank you, Bob. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you for inviting us. Um, my name is Daniela. Agri Cafe is a family business. My father started the company 34 years ago. He's one of the pioneers in coffee and specialty coffee in Bolivia. I'm in charge of all the commercial and quality control of our Agri Cafe. My brother Pedro Pablo looks after the farms. We have 12 farms called Fincas Los Rodriguez. That is our last name. And my father is the owner and founder of the company. We work in two different regions in Bolivia. Caranavi, that is the main coffee region, and Samaipata, that is a new region. We have developed the coffee production there that has all the potential to produce great coffees. And the one that Bador has is the region of Caranavi. Caranavi is a small town in Los Yungas region in La Paz City. Los Yungas from Caranavi start the Amazon. Its coffee is grown in the Amazon, so it's a very wild area. The soil is super rich. It's plenty of mountains because Los Yungas is located behind the Andes mountain, so it has a very special microclimate. And in that region, we have 8 farms, and we work with more than 100 producers that deliver coffee cherry and also parchment to our wet mill. We have two wet mills, one in Caranavi and another one in Samaipata, where we process and control all our coffees. And we also have our own dry mill in La Paz. La Paz is one of the highest capital city in the world. We are at 3,700 meters. But we are lucky because the weather to keep and store the coffee is amazing. And there we do all the sorting, quality control. And from there, we ship the coffee to the port. Bolivia is an unlocked country. So we ship the coffee to the port of Arica. And from there, the coffee goes everywhere.
Yeah, if I could chime in here a little bit, Josh. Yeah, so Bolivia is very unique in its geography and coffee production. Daniela mentioned the altitude of La Paz, and I can speak to that a little bit. Bolivia is one of the few origins that I've been to where when you land at the airport, you actually have to go downhill to get to where the coffee producing areas are because the elevation is so high. The name of the airport in La Paz is called El Alto. And the first time I landed there, it was actually snowing when I got off the plane, which was quite a shock. And I had heard stories in the past about there being like oxygen tanks in the airport for when people get off the plane. And of course, I thought that was, some exaggeration, but it was indeed true. They have them there for people that are coming in and having some difficulty with the altitude. So it's a very, very unique, very I'm going to say spiritual place. It's something that I highly recommend if anyone ever has a chance to go to La Paz. It's a beautiful city. Coffee aside, I think there's a lot to offer there. And I must say, Daniela, I believe that the best food that I've ever had at Origin, I still to this day I will say was in Bolivia.
Well,
Yeah, Bolivia is a very unknown country. We are only 1 million people that live in Bolivia, but Bolivia is a very big country as a size. It has 1 million kilometers. So yeah, and Bolivia is is very diverse. We have a jungle, we have the high altitudes, we have valleys, so that makes that we have plenty kind of different ingredients for the food and very diverse. So
Yeah. Okay. So the coffee that we buy from you guys specifically is a certified organic coffee. I know it's from a program that you guys have started called the Sol de la Mañana program. Maybe you could explain a little bit about your relationship with some of the other producers in the area that you create this coffee with. And I know that you received a sustainability award for this program from the Specialty Coffee Association. So could you talk a little bit about that?
yes, yeah. When we started AgriCafe, or the company, my father used to work with more than 5,000 small producers in the region of Caranavi. But then every year the production started to decrease to a point that only 500 producers were delivering the coffee, the cherry to us. So we were in a situation that the coffee production was kind of disappearing in Bolivia, from exporting 100,000 bags in 2010. In 2014, it dropped to 50,000 bags. So every year was decreasing, and it was not sustainable for us because it was in a certain point that the coffee production could disappear. And many producers were moving to the city. Many producers were looking for other crops like coca or mining. So we were in a situation that we have to do something as a company if we still want to be in this beautiful business that is coffee. Because for us, coffee is our passion. We always living and it's part of our life. So we decided to establish our own farms, Finca Los Rodriguez, and at the same time, with the same model that is sustainability, work together with some producers that they have been working with us for more than 20 years. So the idea was to transfer all the knowledge that we had in our farms to them. But because these people, even though that they have been producers for many years, when specialty coffee started in Bolivia, everything was like a present. So the ONGs or all international help, they give everything ready to them. So they didn't know how to do a nursery. They didn't know how to prune. They were not pruning the coffee trees. So we decided to teach them from the beginning. So the first step was to start doing a nursery. That is very important for the health and for the sustainability of a farm. And also to manage a farm, that they have to look to see a farm like a business. They have to know how many plants they have. They have to invest in a coffee farm. So based on that, we developed this program that is called Sol de la Mañana. And that Sol de la Mañana is looking for increasing the productivity of the farms, of course, having a very, very healthy farms. And at the same time, quality for us super, super important. So if you have volume and you have quality, you can have a better life. So last year, we won the prize of the best sustainable business model, and it's based on the program that we have these producers that has been in a short time, because this program started in 2014, and in such a short time, it has been very successful, because producers, for being producing 5 to, I don't know, maybe 8 bags per hectare, they improve their productivity to 20 to 30 bags per hectare with an amazing quality.
Yeah. And how many producers in the Caranavi area now, Daniela, are participating in this program with you guys?
We are working with over 100 producers, and the support that we are giving to them is very personalized. My brother visits every month. We also have special people that visit the farms every month. They plan together how they are going to manage the farm, what they need, the productivity and everything. So it's a full support to the producers.
I wanted to take a moment here, and I believe that it looks like I invited Ben to join us today. We're going to brew some of the coffee that we have that we're about ready to release. Bob and the team at the roastery produce some for us as we get ready to accept orders. So I'm going to take a moment and contact Ben while you guys are still talking, okay?
All right, sounds great. So I'd like to just reiterate some of the things that Daniela said concerning production in the area and some of the challenges that specifically Bolivia has faced over the years. Bolivia is unique in that it's a landlocked country in South America. I'm not sure if you caught that when Daniela was talking about it. So coffee needs to be exported through the port of Arica in Chile. As you know, Bolivia borders Peru. Peru is a large coffee producing origin in South America, contrary to Bolivia. Just in terms of sheer volumes being exported. And the crop cycle in these countries is very different than what we're accustomed to in Central America, which is what we've been talking about on these shows recently. So Daniela, maybe you can explain where Bolivia is at in the crop cycle and what the next kind of 6 months. Look, oh, there's Ben. So Ben's with us. And while you're talking about that, Josh, does it seem reasonable that maybe Ben and I can do our brewing while Danielle is
Absolutely.
talking a little bit about the crop cycle?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll actually mute us so that none of our pickup sounds affect her ability, and she'll be in the screen. She can talk about where we're at, and then we can go ahead and brew this coffee while she's talking about the crop cycle right now.
Sound good? Yeah. All right.
Sweet.
Okay, the harvest in Bolivia start in end of May and finish in the almost November, depends on the weather. The peak of the harvest is in July, August, and September. So basically, the harvest in Bolivia is very, very long, as we only pick mature cherries. That is very important, so that make us very, very long, as well as the weather and the temperature in Bolivia is very extreme. During the day, the weather can be very warm. It can be from 22 to 30 degrees, and at night it drops to 8 degrees to 12. So that makes that the maturity of the cherry is very slow. But that is also very super good for the quality of the coffee, as it make us the cherries have more sweetness, are super sweet, and it help us for the pickers that the maturity is not just explode. It is very kind of slow, and pickers move from one farm to the other because of the altitudes that the farms have. And so that is the harvest, and the shipping months in Bolivia are from basically September to February, March, that we do, while the coffee is resting in La Paz. La Paz is, as I have said, is at 3,600 meters, but it has the humidity is perfect to store the coffee. It only has 35% of humidity, so it's like a refrigerator. And what is very the difficulties in Bolivia are that everything, the roads are very, even though they are are close by, but the roads are not very good. Maybe you have heard about the death roads. So the coffee has to pass by that road many times, and that makes that it's only 90 kilometers, but it takes for the coffee almost 10 hours to drive from Caranavi to La Paz. And the coffee from Samaipata to La Paz, it takes 24 hours to arrive to La Paz, that is 1,000 kilometers.
Wow.
So the coffee spent a lot of time on the road. And from La Paz to Arica, it takes around 10 to 1 day to arrive to the port.
So I wanted to pop in for a second and just let you know, with all of those obstacles, that Luis Moreno Gutierrez wants you to know that Daniela rocks best coffee in Bolivia. So he just said that on Facebook here. And Luciana, Molinelli says my favorite coffee in Brazil, the best. So cheers to you for that.
Cheers.
Yeah. So, am I am I am I back?
You're back.
Josh?
Yeah, yeah, you're here.
All right. Hey, so Ben, I just wanted to. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I did upgrade my pouring system to the gooseneck kettle. Definitely like that laser of wet heat that I can apply to the coffee now. And I must say, it was an incredible upgrade over my chicken beak kettle, which I had been using up until this time. So now I'm feeling much better about my brewing technique.
Thanks. I'm sure the chicken beak can be painted onto your Bonavita as well too. So,
Or
this
perhaps
coffee, but this coffee, it's my first taste of it, is amazing.
So how did it perform in the? What did you do in the AeroPress with your process today, man? Anything?
I went with my my standard 19 gram for my mug of coffee. 3 paper filters, nice kind of medium coarse grind, and a 2-minute steep. This is really good. As I'm just hovering over the cup, I'm just getting really great. It's a really interesting, nutty, subtle chocolate floral tone that just smells so sweet. So I can't wait till it cools and I can drink the whole thing.
Yeah, and the sweetness. I did it in the Clever Dripper, and the sweetness that comes forward is really, it aligns with the body well, just because it's a more of a kind of a full sweetness, a really kind of deep sugar, not a bright sugar, more of a kind of a. It's just it just really coats the palate well.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you guys here. I think something that we've always appreciated about this coffee, first and foremost, is the sweetness that you experience when you're drinking it. Flavor descriptors that we've had in the past and we will continue with for this year is nougat, caramel, molasses. It really does, like you said, Josh, the body or its mouthfeel is quite striking. It's wonderful, much like our friends in Brazil. That this is yes, Daniela, it's true. This coffee rocks. So looking forward to having it back again. So speaking a little bit to the crop cycle that Daniela was referring to. So this coffee is coffee that was shipped in December. We've actually had it in our roastery for probably a month and a half at this point. Obviously, things got a little delayed and derailed with the COVID-19 situation, so we were a little behind on launching this coffee, but it's still really fresh. One of the things, and maybe we can post a picture at some point, Josh, is that we always look forward to in the roasteries, the bags that the coffee comes in. They're very colorful. It's not your standard kind of burlap jute bag. It's like a doubled up poly propylene with exotic colors, and it's quite beautiful as it sits there in the roastery. So we'll share that at some point. But so I think that's a great kind of segue. Maybe Daniela, if you could, I know customers are always asking me and other employees about what the situation with COVID-19 is with some of our producing partners. So knowing that the harvest could potentially be starting, I mentioned last week that Peru was a country that I've been hearing some great concern about the upcoming harvest and how it relates to what's going on. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the current situation in Bolivia with that, and maybe how it relates to the upcoming harvest, or some concerns or problems that you think we may or may not see?
Yes, yeah, the coronavirus, the most used word in this everywhere. Um, Here in Bolivia, the situation is different. We've been locked down. We are in quarantine. We've been locked down for almost 46, 7 days. People are not allowed to go out. Only once per day, depends on your ID number, and only to buy essentials, fruits and medicines. Supermarkets are open and markets are open only 4 hours per day, only from Monday to Friday. Um, Everybody has to stay home. The only people allowed to work are people that work in the food industry, but the government has to give you some permissions to work. So that make us very difficult to move from one place to the other, especially for us that we are a company that are based in 4 different regions. We have our facilities in Samaipata. Samaipata is 2 hours away from Santa Cruz City. We have our offices in Santa Cruz City. We have our dry mill in La Paz, and we have our wet mill in Caranavi, and we have our farms that are around Caranavi in the mountains. So logistics for us, for AgriCafe, is super complicated. We have to work a lot in logistics to move the people and also to be very efficient. So many of the roads in Bolivia are closed. What is Caranavi and Samaipata are encapsulated. That means that nobody can go in and out from those towns, and is good because not it has because now nobody is infected with the virus in both towns, so that help us because people can move. But the problem is that also Caranavi is in quarantine. The town and the wet mill is in the town of Caranavi, and our farms are 40 minutes up on the mountain of Caranavi. And to deliver the cherry to the mill, we have to pass Caranavi. And we are having kind of some problems because the army and the police are outside asking for permission, are asking not to move the people, because what we are allowed, people are allowed here to move from 7 a.m. to 12, but not in the afternoon. And as you know, the pickers pick the whole day, and around 6 hours they move the harvest to the wet mill. So now what we are adjusting is that we are trying to process some of our coffee in the farms. So we are starting to establish some kind of a small wet mills in the farms to depulp and also to process some naturals in the farms. So we have to move some raised bed in the farms. And also, as you know, we work with different producers that they deliver the cherry to us. So they are also starting the harvest, and they want to deliver because they don't have wet meat, they don't have the pulpers, or they don't have raised beds in their farms, because they always have been delivering the cherry to us. And we can now in this point say, after this program that we have established, and now that they have the production, we cannot say, okay, we can't accept your coffee. So what we are doing is we are accepting your coffee delivery in our farms and process there, or because now the quantities are not big, so we are kind of like keeping some volumes there, and after 2 days bringing the coffee to our wet mill to continue with the process in the wet mills that we have, like using the machines, the stationary machines, the mechanical dryers that we have in the wet mill. And now our main concern regarding the harvest, because AgriCafe work with more than 500 people during the harvest. 400 are pickers and 100 are people that has to work in the wet mills, in the factories, moving the coffee. And talking about Caranavi, from the 200 pickers that we work, many people live in Caranavi town, and we have to pick from the town to move to our farms. So now we will have to invest, and it will increase our costs to see different options, because they cannot be together. We cannot like move them, everybody, like, I don't know, maybe like 30 people in one truck. So we will have to make more drives moving the people. And also we are starting to 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 make some camps in the farms, so people move to live in the farms. And in Bolivia, picking is kind of a family work, because the families go to the farm and pick together the coffee. So that makes us that we have to give a space to the families to live close by, and also to teach them how to keep distance between them, how to use all the biosecurity that they have to have, cleanness, hygiene that they don't know, and we have to explain more than 200 people to and control that. So pickers is our main concern, and we are working on that, because we it's not the peak of the harvest is not yet, and we don't know what will happen in July, but we are working and see different options. How are we going to work on these things?
Yeah, it's really inspiring. This is Joshua jumping in really quick here. I just want to say I'm always inspired whenever we talk with our partners. Um, just a standard year, a normal year, the work that you do to take care of your communities and to continue to produce the quality that you produce is always inspiring. And now, specifically, looking at what everyone is having to do to stay engaged, just from a civic duty perspective, it's really inspiring to know that you're thinking far enough ahead to really be able to stay in front of this, and that's always nice to know that we have partners like that.
Yeah, for us, health is super important. We have to take care of all the people that we work with. Now, in the factories, in the mills, they are only working people that are like permanent workers, because also for keeping them safe, we cannot hire more people that maybe they can bring the virus. So these people are they have to work double, because it's a small team that they are working. but they are conscious that this is a difficult situation for everybody. It's not only for coffee shops. It's also, I think that it's affected the virus is affecting the whole chain, from pickers to roasters, coffee shops, and even consumers. Yeah. And here in Bolivia, the problem is that we have a very fragile health system. In Bolivia, we are 1 million, 12 million people, and we only have 180 units, medical units, so ventilators. So it's kind of scary because there are not ventilators, for example, in Caranavi and in Samaipata. So we have to be more careful for the people because we know that health is that the medicine is not very.
Yeah, I think it again. It's just inspiring to see folks working so hard and thinking so diligently about it. I know that we've had to pivot quite a bit in the way we run our business, and we know you have too. And I'm just glad that we have this coffee, and we do look forward. I know I can't speak for Bob; he's the green bean buyer, but I'm just so happy for the relationship that he's built with you all there, because it really is a highlight every year. And even with these troubles that we're experiencing, I know we'll have a highlight again with the new crop.
Yeah. So can you hear me okay, Josh? I know I lost video and stuff there for a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, you're back in.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniela, for taking the time to join us. Yeah, I understand these are difficult times, and obviously we all hope that things improve between now and when the harvest starts here towards the end of this month. Keep us. We'll stay in contact and stay updated. But yeah, once again, thank you. And Josh mentioned this is kind of one of many relationships that we have with producers that have extended for long periods of time. And I was trying to remember, when I first met your dad, Pedro. And yeah, it was a long time ago. And I think one of the unique things about our relationship between Batdorf and Bronson and Agri Cafe is, Pedro and I knew each other for a long time before we ever actually purchased coffee and brought it to Batdorf. And I think it just goes to show how coffee is a long-term business. The relationships that we invest in, the farms that we invest in, as producers, as roasters, are long-term investments, and it takes time to foster these relationships. And oftentimes it's the seeds that you plant. I'm thinking it was 12 years ago when Pedro and I first met at an event, and of all places, I think it might have been in Guatemala. That it was then, 6-7 years later before we started bringing in coffee from Buena Vista or Agri Cafe. So thank you for all the hard work. Thank all your employees and your family. We're probably going to try and wrap this up here shortly, but I'm sure everybody appreciates hearing what's going on specifically in Bolivia right now, and appreciates hearing more details about Agri Cafe, Buena Vista, and the Sol de la Mañana program. So with that in mind, I just want to say that next Wednesday, I'm going to have Janice Nadswarney from the Food for Farmers program on with us. It's a program that we have kind of participated in at Batdorf and Bronson, sort of off and on over the past couple years, but with everything that's going on, once again, I thought it'd be interesting to talk with her and talk about some of the programs that they're doing at Multiple Coffee Origins. So hopefully you guys can tune in again next week. And once again, if anybody has questions for myself or for Daniela regarding the Bolivia Buena Vista or Agri Cafe, the business model, by all means continue to send those our way, and we will indeed try and give you all the information and answers that you are looking for. So thanks, Josh. Thank you, Ben, once again, for your expertise in brewing and helping our customers have the best experience that they can have when tasting these coffees. So it really is, that's the supply chain, right? We all have a part in it, and everybody, as I tell every employee that comes into our company when I do an orientation with them, your job, everyone's job, is just as important as the person before them, and just don't mess it up.
Don't mess
right?
it up.
Because if you do, then you're doing everybody in that supply chain a disservice. And in this case, specifically Daniela and Pedro Pablo. And I don't want to have to tell them that you messed up the brew and their coffee didn't taste good. So thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Stick around for a minute after we end the meeting here. I want to say thank you to Daniela for joining us, and Ben too. We love your coffee, and we look forward to talking to you here in Bolivia and wherever else our paths cross as we go forward together. So thanks, everybody, for being here today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Un abrazo, Daniela.
Igual. Cuídense. Bye-bye.
And thanks, everybody here, for joining us today as well. So I just wanted to remind everyone that we are, in fact, going to be launching this amazing coffee. You'll be able to order it tomorrow. So please come back and join us. We'll, of course, put a note out in all the channels so that you remember. And guess what? Tomorrow, when that coffee comes out, what do you get to use? That's right. You get to use the 10% discount code. You're watching today, you know about the code. Please use it. It applies to everything when you visit us, including the coffee that we're bringing up from Bolivia again, our organic Buena Vista. We'll probably do a deep dive into it next week after it's been officially released. We'll do a cupping, and we'll share that together. And then hopefully we'll start getting some notes from all of you about how you're enjoying it. It's really great for us to continue to meet in places like this. We're so grateful that our producer partners come here to talk with all of you and to talk with us, to start to really build the relationships that we have. They're not just between the producer and us. It really is all the way down from seed to cup. And so thank you all for joining us here. Really appreciate your time. Be sure to use the code WATCHANDLEARN10 when you go online to make your purchases. Make sure to look for the launch of that Bolivia Buena Vista tomorrow. And we'll see you in this space and others as we continue turning our homes into cafes. Take care.